Okay, let us start again. There's one question from a, they want us to repeat the y minus 4. Okay, can you repeat that option that you have used for floor? For floor, Aditya, you want to know about floor. Okay, and Atharva wants to know about minus 4. Fine. Okay, I'll just show you about the floor. It's simple. Left is a function which gives you number of characters from the left side. Okay, so I have given the left function, the reference of the text from I want to extract the characters, and I have given 2 as the second parameter because I want to extract 2 characters from the location field. Okay, I hope floor is clear. Now coming to wings, okay, especially this one. Okay, the reason why we have given floor, because as I told you, when we give the find function, when I give the find function, what I'm finding is I'm finding the space from K4. Okay, this is what I was doing. Okay, and it gives me the space. Now, when I come to this one, now all the places where I have west, I'm going to get a space at the 8th character. Whereas wherever I have like a south, north, I'm going to get 9. Okay. Now, if I subtract 4 from this, if I subtract 4 from this, I'll get 4 here. And if I subtract 4 from this, I'll get 5. Agreed? Now, in the function, mid function, what are the parameters? I want to give the text from where I want to extract the string. I have to give the starting position, which we have directly given 4, because we know that this character, the location wing, is starting on the 4th index position, because the first one is 0, second one is 2, the third one is hyphen. Okay, and that's the reason the start number is find 4. But how many characters to extract, number of characters, actually depends on the space. If my space is on the 8th character, that means the wing or the word which we have is of 4 character length. Okay, if the space is coming at the 9th character, that means it is a 5 character word, the wing. Okay, and that's the reason we have subtracted 4 from here. So if I subtract 4, either I'll get the 4 characters, or I'll get, if it is 9, I'll get 5 characters. That's the logic behind it. Okay, nothing else. Now, depending, it's up to you how you use it. But I hope the reason why I have given minus 4 is clear. Okay, coming to the 2 columns which are left, that is year's service and the next review. Now, next review is very easy. Next review will be in the next year. So what I'm going to do is this time I'm going to make use of some numbers. Now, 1 year is of 365 days. So I'll take the last review, this column, and add 365 days to it. That'll give me the next review. So I just give equal to sign here. I select the cell plus 365. Finish it off. So I get 1/7/2017. That is my next review date. I double click on it. I get the date. It's very simple. Nothing else. Now coming to years of services. Now we have a function which can give you the current date. That is now or today, right? And we have got the date of hire, the hire date. So what I can do is I can subtract the hire date from the current date, or the current date from the hire date. Fine. If I want a positive number, so I can use today. I can give equal to today, close round bracket, minus the date of hire. Okay, that is F4. If I do that, I get a number. Now this number which it is returning, because I perform subtraction, it is going to give me in days. So number of days I'm getting. I'm not getting years. Okay. Now, if I want to get years, what I can do is I can simply divide this whole thing by 365, or to be precise, it is actually 365.25. Okay, even that can be done. So if I just change this function, okay, I put the round bracket here, okay, complete this whole thing and divide by 365.25. Okay, I'm going to get 12.9. So this is number of years and month. Okay, so even this is possible. But instead of doing this, I'll use a better way. Okay, there's a function which can be used, which is a year function, year frac function. Okay, so it returns the year fraction representing the number of whole days between the start date and the end date. So I can use this one. Okay, the start date, as you know, is the higher date. So I give F4. And what is the end date? End date is today's date. So I make use of the today function here. Today. Complete the round bracket. And now when I press enter, I get the same, again, I get the same answer. Please, there's someone whose mic is unmuted. Please mute it. Okay, thank you. Fine. So if you look at the answer, which I got last time, I got 12.9. Again, I'm getting the same answer, but this time I've made use of the inbuilt function called year frac. Okay, and I can double click on this and I get the values for the others. Okay, so these are some few important functions which I wanted to show you here. Next review we have already done. Now let us go ahead and see how to give name ranges. Okay, how to give a name to a cell, which I think I had shown you once before. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the name to the range and to a cell as well. And I'm going to use that in the function, in the formulas. Okay, so for that, I have the same type of a file which I have created here, which is of staff. And there's a bit of more calculations here. So this is my same file, but there are some changes which I've done. A gender has been added and it has been sorted as well. It's with some other names and all. Okay, but it is the same data. Okay, and we have added, I've shifted the columns here and there. We have added some few more, columns as well. So I've got a column called annual salary. I've got pension and I've got package. Okay. Now annual salary, I have the values here. There's no formula for this. We have entered the values, the annual salary for each of the employees here. Okay. Now on top here on line number 1 under O, I've given a different field called contribution, and the percentage is given as 9%. And if you look at the format, the number format is of percent type. You can see this one. And there's the reason, if I double click it, you can see this percent sign is also there. Okay. So either you can put 0.9 and press enter to get the 9%, or you can put type 9 and follow that with a percent sign. Okay. Both will be fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a function here. I'll give equal to the annual salary multiplied by the contribution. Okay, P1. Okay, and when I press enter, I should get the pension contribution. Now the problem here last time, if you remember, when we did referencing, I told you if I copy this function down, your P1 will change to P2. And that means I need to fix the reference P1. So one has to be fixed. So I'll give a $sign here. Now when I drag this, there's no problem. I'm going to get the contribution. You can see this function here. P1 remains P1. Okay, but I have a better way now. So instead of using this referencing style and all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this function, this cell. Okay, to name this cell, the name of this cell by default is P1. You can see this name box here. This is P1. I'm going to change this to pension rate. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll go to say, I'll come to formulas, fine. And we have a name manager here. So under the formula tab, we have define names, and you can either click on define name directly, or you can go here as well, right? I'm going to define a name. So I click on this, and here the name I'm going to give is as pension underscore rate. Okay, and here you can see the reference is already there. It is my sheet name, staff, the name of my sheet, then the exclamation mark, $P, $1. I click on OK. Fine. Now, whenever I come to this cell, you can see this name is changed now. Okay, it's pension rate. Now I can give the function, I give equal to this multiplied by pension rate. Okay, press enter. I get the answer. I can double click it. Now, no need of doing anything because pension rate is the name of the column. So wherever I go, you can see this. If I go down also here, I get the name of the cell. Okay. So what I've done, instead of using the $sign in the referencing, I better convert this cell name to some other name, and I can use that in my functions or the formulas which I'm giving. Okay. The next thing what I'll be doing is I'll be converting this whole range of salary. I'll be giving a name to it. Okay. So pension rate was just a single cell. Now, if I want to give this whole thing as annual salary, what I'll do is I'll select all the cells. So up to 38. Now, because I have already done it here, you can see this one. There's a name here, annual salary. Now that I can check it in the name manager now. In the name manager, I'll get all the names which I have. Okay, so I'll click on this. Here you can see this annual salary is there. Let me delete this right now. Click OK. I'll close this. Now when I select this whole cell, all the columns up to here. Okay. Now here I don't have any name here. You can see that. Now what I'll do, I'll go to define name and I'll give the name as annual salary. Now this name is coming from the column heading. Okay. If you want some other name, you can do that as well. And this is the reference which I've got. Okay. So from N4 to N38, I click on OK. Now it is changed to annual salary. Okay. Similarly, I can do for pension. So let us select this whole thing and define this. I got pension and I click on OK. There's no problem here. I click on OK. Now, how do I do the calculation for package? Okay, I'll also do it for package. So let me check whether I have the name given here or I have to give it. This time it is P4. Click on this. I give package. Click on OK. Done. Finish. Okay. Now under package, the package will be the annual salary plus my pension. That is my package. So I just have to give equal to annual salary I can give. Okay, annual salary plus pension. So this is my pension and press enter. Okay, I get the exact value. So what is happening? The whole range is not getting added. Please remember, this value depends on N4 plus O4. Okay, if I drag this down or double click it, you can see the values are different. Okay, so even though I have given annual salary plus pension, what is happening? It is going to refer to the same row values. So N5 plus O5 will give me this package. Clear? So again, you can give the range also, you can give a name. You can define name for the range and use that in your calculation as well. Fine. Let us go ahead and we have here a quick fact which I want to create. I want to find out the total package. So my total package will be just the sum of packages. So I'll use the sum function. So I can give sum into bracket. Either I can select this whole thing from year to year. Okay. If I do that, you can see the name has changed in the formula and I press enter. What happens? I get the total. Now, but if you look at the function, what has happened? It is using the name which I had given to that particular cell range. Okay. So sum into bracket package is going to give me the total package. What about the average salary? I have to use the function called average here. This is my average function. So this one. Okay. What is my average salary? It is nothing but your annual salary. So I can give you the name. Either you type the name or select the range. Complete this, press enter. What is the next review date? My next review date will be the minimum of my next review, because for each of them is some other date. So here I am going to use the min function, min, and I'm going to use the next review. Now, I hope whether I don't know whether I have given the reference. So I'll select this. Okay, I have not given the name here. Press enter. I can give this range as well. So this is my minimum. You can give the range name. So let us give the name here. Define the name. Okay, this will be my next underscore review. It's from M4 to M38. I click OK. And here, instead of using this, I use next review. Okay, so this is much better. Similarly, you can do it for the most recent date. Now, the most recent start date will be the maximum of the date of hire. So what is the date of hire? Let me check it out. Date of hire. So let me give a name here also. So I'll give this. Okay, date of hire is already given, so I can use it. I'll write equal to max into bracket date of hire. Okay, enter. I get the date. Fine. So this is how you can give names to the cells or the ranges as well. The table, we have already seen how to give a name to the table. You can also select multiple columns and give name to that particular range of data. Now coming to a 3D formula. Okay, 3D formula is interesting. For that, I have some other sheet. Let me show you some other sheet. Here it is. Fine. Okay. Now I have 3 sheets, which is having the expenses for Q3 for 3 different staffs. Okay. And this is the name of the staff, that is the mileage rate and so on. There's some data here which has been calculated. We are not going to look into this. Okay. Similarly, I have the same format for the other person, Uma. So San, Uma, Carlos, there are 3 sheets. Now, what if I want to find out the total of all these 3 employees? Okay, that is the total miles driven, the totals of miles reimbursement and so on. So let me do that calculation. First of all, what I'll do is I'll create another copy of this. So I'll click on move or copy. And at the end, I'll create a copy here. I'll rename this sheet. So let us rename this to HR. And because it is for Q3, I'll write Q3. Okay. I'll change the name of the staff to human resources. Let us change this to human resources. Okay, the mileage is not going to change. The rest of the things are not going to change as much. Okay, but these values are going to change. So I don't want this. So I'll delete this. Okay, plus I don't want this as well. I delete this. Let me see if I have anything else down here. We have this total here. I don't want this. Okay, so this is my blank sheet where I want the total of all. So what I can do is I can give the function, I can always write equal to. As you know, the function has to be, this will be a plus function. So I have to go to the sheet here, the first sheet. I click on this, select the first cell. Now look at this, what is happening. Here is the function. So I get the name of the sheet, exclamation mark, and then I get C7. Then I use the plus sign. Then I select the second sheet, select the cell, same cell again, plus select the third one, Carlos, select the same cell C7, and now press enter. Okay. When I do that, what I get the answer as 540. Okay, there's something in the chat. Let me see. Okay. Vishal is sleeping. Is that boring? So everyone is gone to sleep, it seems. Guys, wake up, especially Vishal. Remember that even I can see your messages. Vishal, get up. Are you up? I hope so. Okay. Now, imagine if suppose you have, say, 50 different sheets altogether. So are you going to repeat this 50 times? Are you going to go to each, sheet and refer to that sheet and select the sheet there? Of course not. Okay. So what is the best way to do it? So best way is to reuse the sum function. Okay. And use a 3D referencing method. So I'll delete this one. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of the equal to sign, equal to sum. I give the round bracket. I go to the first sheet here. Okay. Select the first number. I select the first number. Right. I press the control key. Okay. Or you can put the colon as well. So here you can see I press control. I go to the last sheet. Right? Sorry, not the control key, the shift key. And I go to the last sheet. As soon as I do that, what happens? I get a colon here and I get the name of the last sheet, exclamation mark, and the cell reference. And I press the round bracket and I press enter. I get the same answer. Now, I can drag this down and drag this across. And I get the answers. Okay. Fine. Are you getting me what I have done here? I'll repeat this if you want. Let me do.
Yes, sir. So can you repeat it again?
Yes.
Please repeat.
I have given equal to sign. I gave the sum function. I press opening round brackets. I go to the first sheet, that is your senior. Okay. Select the cell which I want to add. I want to refer. Press the shift button on my keyboard and select the last sheet. The last sheet is Carlos. What happens, because I have used the shift key, it selects all the sheets which is from Saint to Carlos, and we have only one there. And in the function, you can see I have got a colon in between, followed by the last sheet name, worksheet name, then the exclamation mark and the cell reference. Okay. And if you want, either you complete the round bracket or just press enter. Okay. When I press enter, I get the final answer 540. I can drag this across. When I drag this across, what happens? Look at the function. Now it is D7. Okay. When I'm here, it is E7. Okay. Because the format of my sheet is the same throughout. Okay. There's no problem. So for this 3 months, I can just drag this down here and I get the final answer. If you want, you can just copy this function, Control C, paste it here as well, Control V. Okay, so look at the function. It is now C17. Okay, I drag this down and I drag it across. That's it. Now, what about this? Let me copy from here, Control C, Control V. Drag it down, drag it across. Finish. So now I have got a summary of the third quarter for all the employees which I have in one sheet. Okay. And I also have the grand total. Now this grand totals, we have used the sum function here to give the totals here. Okay, now this type of referencing is your 3D reference or 3D formula. Okay, the formula which I've given here, especially this one, where we are referring to the different sheets, is known as your 3D formula. Okay, so I'll stop here today. I think I have bored you a lot today. I hope those who are interested have understood it. And let me stop.